Dude, we're not interesting enough.
Hello, it is me, Shitty Satan.
Oh.
Hey Chadley, have you revised your stance on Hellboy yet?
I have not, but...
All right, see you guys.
Wait, no, come back. I want to talk to you about Hail Satan.
Bye, Shitty Satan. That was fun.
I want to talk to you about Hail Satan.
I already got him. He poofed away.
Oh, man.
Hey Chadley, it's me, Podcast Bot.
Hey, Podcast Bot.
Guess what?
What?
I stole a taco truck.
What are you going to do with that?
I don't know, but I think I hit a celebrity.
Oh, you know what, Podcast Bot? I'm going to reveal...
Do you want to know which one?
Is it Zach Braff?
Nope, it was Detective Pikachu.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's in the back of the truck. Can you help me bury him?
I refuse.
I thought you were a ride or die bitch, Chadley.
I am. I'm just gonna let the listeners know something about Podcast Bot 5000 before we go forward.
Yeah, what's that?
Podcast Bot 5000 has been waking me up in the middle of the night in fucking full-on tears, full-blown tears, because he keeps having nightmares.
Night terrors.
Nightmares about Frankenstein throwing him in the tar pit.
Yeah, that sounds like Podcast Bot.
Yeah, he
Don't throw me in there.
Yeah.
Don't put me in there.
Are you terrified? Does that scare you? Does that thought scare you?
A lot of things scare me, Chadley.
Okay, I didn't know if you had that emotion, but it's neat to know that you do. But actually, that actually makes a lot of your past way worse that you feel fear. But Podcast Bot 5000, what are we talking about this week?
Well, today you're going to be doing the double Steve Carell double feature.
Oh God, I love Stevie Boy.
You got Beautiful Boy and Welcome to Marwen. Zemeckis classic, a classic, one of the top 60 or 70 Zemeckis.
It's in there. He's made at least 40.
And what else you got on the docket, Podcast Bot? Well, you'll be watching another Mummy movie, I guess, because they keep making those. The Mummy's Hand.
Mummy's Hand, yeah. I'm super excited to talk about that. That's probably one I'm most excited to talk about on this show.
Absolutely. We love talking about the Universal Monsters and their retrospective that they entail.
What else?
I don't know, some Netflix bullshit. I don't know. Some that Chadley picked, probably.
What's it called?
Boy That Harnessed the Wind.
Yeah, there we go. You know what? Here's the thing, is that I've been listening back to the podcast, and I noticed that I help you out a lot on these intros. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to let you get there.
Oh, wow. That's a good learning experience for Podcast Bot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm done holding your hand. I'm going to let you just get there. Before we move forward, though, there is very exciting...
Plug me in.
Oh, no, I'm not going to plug you in. There is very, very... Don't go anywhere, Podcast Bot, because you're going to have to play a theme song in a bit. Very, very exciting news on the Hollywood front that I simply must talk about.
What's that?
The new Fast and Furious movie, Fast and Furious 9,
Yeah.
has a new cast member.
Oh, who is it?
It's none other than John Cena, baby.
Hey
Here's
guys, it's me, Shitty John Cena.
Oh, hey, shitty John Cena.
Did I heard you guys hear I was in the new Vin Diesel thing?
Yep.
I call it the Vin Diesel family.
Oh, yep. That is what it's called.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, thank you, shitty John Cena. The crazy thing about this now, though, is that it makes me think a whole myriad of new thoughts.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because Vin Diesel has the 3 trilogies set up. He said, the Hobbs and Shaw trilogy, the female Fast and Furious trilogy, and then he said the other one was a little secret surprise. We getting a John Cena trilogy?
Seems like it's going that way.
God, what if we get and they'll pair him up with someone weird, like give me like a John Cena, Luke Evans trilogy.
No, the best thing about it though is that Vin Diesel is Nick Fury. And I find that very funny.
But like not
Stop there. I'm afraid.
Why don't you play us something, baby?
Start? I don't feel so good.
You can practically see it from here. What?
pod.
Welcome to the Movie Epidemic Podcast. I'm your host, Buck Hollywood LeDuc, joined by, as always, Chadley J. Fox. Welcome to the show, Chadley.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing? 55 minutes late.
Yeah, I'm a first-time guest. It's my first time on the podcast today. I've never been on before, but I hope that everybody likes hearing my reviews.
Oh, that's such a positive outlook.
Yeah. I've actually received...
Death threats?
Pretty close for my written review of Avengers Endgame. Here's the thing. If you don't give that cocksucker 5 stars, people will confront you about it in person.
We've seen a big increase in 1-star reviews on iTunes, directly correlating with that episode's release. So, yeah, people don't like that. But here's the thing: that's a movie where the Hulk dabs, so it couldn't possibly be a 5-star, even if it tried.
Yeah, the Hulk tells kids to listen to their mothers.
There's a part where Thor and Korg play Fortnite, so it couldn't possibly be a 5, regardless of what you think of the rest of it.
Oh, yeah. I did, however, meet one person who was like, I read your review. I completely agree. Here's all the plot holes. And I'm like, thanks. I appreciate that. But everybody else was like, you didn't think it was... Okay, but here's the thing about... Here's the thing about Avengers Endgame, and I am positive about this.
What's that?
The same thing that's happening now with Avengers Endgame is what happened with Last Jedi. And here's what happened with Last Jedi.
Yeah.
That movie came out. It scored a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Everybody went and saw it and was like, this is the fucking greatest movie ever. Here, enter Buck and I, who are the fucking Invasion of the Body Snatchers guy, and we're like, no, guys, it's not good. It's
you don't have to like this when we get a little crack. There's a little crack in it now.
Yeah. They were like, no, you guys, it's not good. It's a bad movie. And then over time, people just sort of go, oh, wait a minute. Oh no. It is bad.
Oh, so it was bad the whole time.
Shit, it was bad the whole time. Because, like, here's the thing.
Innovators.
Have you talked to people about Last Jedi recently?
They don't like it now.
Most people have turned around on it.
Even the people that were stoically defending it are now like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Except for my brother, who also told me this week that Endgame is the best Marvel movie ever made, which is clearly an insane opinion to have.
That's close.
It's clearly an insane opinion to have.
Most of these movies are bad, Chadley.
Yeah, but also Thor Ragnarok, though. That one's fucking perfect. But yeah. My brother has really bad opinions on movies.
Happy birthday, Wes Anderson, 50 years old.
Is it his 5-0?
It sure is.
Dude, he's half a century?
Still looks like he's 25, though, with all his scarves.
Perfect.
What a guy.
He gets one scarf for every year.
So what are we talking about first here, Chadley? It doesn't really matter. We didn't see anything important this week, really.
Yeah, no, that is very, very true. But this is the week of shit that I just kind of wanted to get out of the way. So that we can talk about some actually good stuff next week. Let's talk about Marwen.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let's talk about Welcome to Marwen. Man. So this is Robert Zemeckis' newest film. It's sort of like a half real life movie, half facial recognition animation. Now, of course, we've seen Zemeckis dip in the half real life, half animated realm before, even as far back as 1986 with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But like the facial recognition software that's used in this movie was created for his movie Polar Express, and then staunchly used in the shitty movie A Christmas Carol starring Jim Carrey, who we will talk about later also, because I'm pretty pissed off about Jim Carrey right now. But
yeah, anything to get Zemeckis' fetish off of using this fucking shitty technology.
Well, the thing is, though, is that the technology was probably really expensive to make, and there's no way he made his money back on fucking 2 Christmas movies.
Well, no way.
But nobody saw this
I think he was also like aiming to sell the technology, wasn't he?
Maybe, but nobody's buying because it's pretty good technology, but also it's just
the weird motion capture, uncanny valley bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking Disney already has a better one if you've seen Tarkin.
Yeah, that's very true. Disney does already have a better one. So Welcome to Marwen is a very weird biopic about a gentleman who was beat for wearing women's shoes.
They beat the memories out of him.
And they beat the memories out of him.
Don't worry, they tell you that a lot in both the doc and the movie.
Yeah.
They beat the memories out of him.
The doc, Marwen Call, is that what the doc is called?
Yeah.
Because you saw
Mark
that
Wendy Colleen.
Yeah, Mark Wendy Colleen. No, wait, that's not it. It's Mark Wendy Nicole, isn't it?
No.
Oh, I see. Is there shit they left right out?
No, it's just different characters, and it's not called Marwen Call in
Oh.
in the Zemeckis movie. It's just called Marwen Call in real life.
Oh, interesting.
Because Colleen was his caretaker.
Oh, interesting. That's really interesting. So welcome. Here's the thing, is that the setup here is good enough, I think, and kind of charming, like at points. I do think that this movie is a little bit charming. However, it's not that good. And like here's
I don't even think the doc is that good. Like it's an interesting, weird, once in a lifetime. You couldn't write this story.
Yeah,
but it's just a guy that got beat up
and then took
lost
pictures
his
of
memories.
action figures. Yeah,
like I think the more interesting part is that he made a full recovery, and then used his trauma to create art.
Yeah,
but they barely even touch on that, and especially in the Zemeckis movie, it turns into a weird rom-com.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, like it's kind of a romantic comedy for some reason, but there's also like just some shit in Welcome to Marwen Call that's like has no business being in the movie at all. For instance, the abuse, Leslie Mann's abusive ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah, what's he doing?
What's that guy doing?
That's a waste of my time. That's what that is.
He's in the movie, and the movie's 2 hours. They could have chopped it up a bit, but they did need to have somebody to be like the Nazi leader. But why not? Why not have the Nazi leader be one of the guys that beat the shit out of him?
Yeah, exactly.
And because like the other Nazis are just the guys that beat the shit out of him,
right?
You know?
And that's fine. That's a good spot because that's kind of how it went in real life. But in the doc, the one thing that I found was too insane. I'm like, there's no way Zemeckis has the balls to put it in. Was the the Belgian witch character?
Yeah.
And no shit did he not only put it in, but he made it super offensive to what that character is.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk to that for just a moment, because as much as I do think this movie is kind of charming, and I didn't have a bad time watching it,
I did.
It is an offensive depiction of not only mental illness but also addiction,
and also the way this guy actually handled it. Like, it's offensive. I can't imagine. Like, he signed off on this movie, obviously, but I can't imagine a situation where I would watch this and it was about me, and that's how I was portrayed. I'd be like, no,
we're gonna have to go back. You guys are gonna have to call up Steve Carell and be like, hey, play this way less shitty.
Because like
he's portrayed as a coward in this movie.
Yeah,
like incessantly a coward, and kind of like I'm gonna use this word liberally here, but he's played kind of retarded, and I don't think that this guy was.
He's not all together though.
Yeah.
Like the doc mostly focuses on the art and the art show. And he like shows up to the art show and he's like, I should have brought my heels. I didn't mean to not bring my heels. And he's just like freaking out and he's talking to everybody about the heels and he's just taking pictures of people's shoes at the art show. So he's like pretty crazy.
Okay. So maybe he's a little bit.
But if I was signing off on this, I'd be like, tone down the crazy a little bit.
Yeah. That being said, though, Steve Carell is fucking awesome in this movie.
Steve Carell is always good.
He's so good, like insanely good. Leslie Mann is fine.
Yeah.
Leslie Mann rolls up. She barrels the words out exactly the way you would expect Leslie Mann to say them, and then she gets the fuck off set with a paycheck.
I have a problem with this movie because it just barrels around and not really knowing what the fuck it even is.
Yeah, and especially like near the climax of the movie, which like I don't understand like the point of it, because it's all supposed to be parallel, and it's like it soaks in its metaphors. This movie is so soaked in metaphor, especially that witch character who's supposed to represent addiction to pain pills. But here's the problem with that, is that he just says, I don't want to be around a witch anymore, and his addiction is cured.
Okay. But like the whole point of it is that he was an alcoholic, and then that was beaten out of him also.
Yes.
He doesn't remember it.
Yeah. Of course. But the addiction that's representative of is the pills, because when the witch is dead, you see him pouring the pills down the sink. So it's like, okay. I
agree that it's ham-fisted. I don't think it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, it's really tough, because I kind of like the fantasy aspect of the movie. Like I like the fantasy half of the movie, like the stupid GI bullshit where Steve Carell's out here saying dumb one-liners as a guy named Hoagie. Like that's pretty fun. But then when they try and when they try and take the parallels and bring them over into the real world, where you have this character Mark, who is really struggling to take that fantasy world and separate it from reality. I don't think that that's a very graceful transition, and it feels like everything is supposed to mean something, but not everything does. Like everything that happens in the fantasy world should be, realistically, if you're going to make a movie like this, everything that happens in that fantasy world should be a parallel to what's happening in the real world. And some of it is, but not all of it. Some stuff is just happening for no reason.
Well, it's not happening for no reason. It's what actually happened. It's based on something that's real. So it's like you can only go so far with the concept of this being a rom-com,
Yeah.
That with the other stuff happening. This is a story about an artist at its core that they changed to be something else.
And it really should have been about the art, because the art is the shit I'm kind of interested in this
it's
movie.
the only thing that makes the doc watchable. I don't like either of these movies. I think they're both fucking dog shit for the most part. It's an interesting story. I just think they were both put together horribly.
I don't think I hate this movie as much as you do. I just think that Zemeckis has a very weird eye for making movies that, like, he's being so sincere about these movies, but he makes them crazy offensive.
But that's the problem. Like this is a movie that like a 65-year-old white brain thinks is a feminist movie, because it's
because of all the powerful females in the film.
Yeah, but then he also like makes them Barbies with fucking giant shoes, like
and they take off their tops all the time.
He thinks this is like good for the gay community, but then just makes it super offensive.
Yeah,
it's like I don't like, this is clearly just a movie made by a 65-year-old white guy, and it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it shows so intensely that even Steve Carell doing his best can't cover up how fucking stupid it is.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about this movie, and what I was most interested in about watching this movie, and it's just such a weird thing that you have this guy who's doing this art, and I'm pretty interested in the art, but you know what I'm way more interested in? The fact that this dude fucking collects shoes. I want to see that collection, dude. Because he was like, I have 200 pairs of shoes. Wow, definitely show me more of that. Definitely make that more of the movie, because that's really weird. Yeah. But, I mean, I like the mini sets,
That's fun.
It's pretty fun, Some of the action sequences are a little bit dumb, but especially because like sometimes the action sequences will have like something blowing up and then you just see it again in the next shot, and it's like, okay, all right. So I don't know what the metaphor here is, but I'm glad Robert Zemeckis is having fun.
Yeah, really having fun.
Yeah, he's out here
with that motion capture technology.
Yeah, with that motion capture technology that nobody will use.
God, it looks so creepy.
It does. It looks and it looks especially weird in this movie because they're all like action figures.
Yeah, they've got doll arms.
Because I think some of it is motion capture, or not motion capture. I think some of it is like what's the word I'm looking for? Like not claymation, but stop motion. Like I think some of it's stop motion, but the faces aren't. You don't think any of it's stop motion?
No.
Oh,
it looks all animated to me.
Yeah, I feel like some of it might have been just because like those are real action figures, but then the faces. God, what's going on there?
Creepy.
And they don't. And they cut. Like here's the thing: is that and I thought this with Polar Express too, which is like probably a better use of this motion capture technology, but in this movie, like it only kind of looks like the people it's supposed to look like. It looks like weird alien versions of the people.
Yeah, it looks like they've stretched their skin over a new host.
Yeah, and yeah, it's also cliche, but I think because like the way the movie ends, like you can see that coming from a country mile. The way this movie ends, you can see that coming 15 minutes into this fucking thing, and it sort of just takes all the routes exactly the way you think it's going to. But again, it's hard to fuck with just a true story. It's just what happened, This guy got the shit kicked out of him, kicked the memories out of him, and then made a full recovery, became a weird artist, and then just because like the interesting thing is that the guy was an illustrator beforehand, and he illustrated like these World War II Nazi comics, which I would kind of love to see because they show a glimpse of it in this movie, and it looks pretty dope. But of course, unfortunately, can't draw after the incident that took place.
Well,
so
one of the things I found really interesting in the doc was when he was talking about the camera and how he would just like shoot it all and then he'd get it sent out because that's how you got film developed.
Yeah.
And then it would come back and like he wasn't a professional photographer or anything. He'd just look at it. And if the light was wrong, he'd just reshoot it.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Because like the guy that's making the doc was asking him about like his lenses and stuff, and he's like, I don't know. It's just the camera that I had.
Well, they even kind of touch on that because like that actually makes sense because one of the first things that happens in the movie is he's shooting the scene that's supposed to be like the parallel to him getting the shit kicked out of him and the one Wendy lady saving him. And he's shooting that scene right at the beginning of the movie. And once he's done that, he goes, that one took me 3 years to get. So that actually makes sense that he continually reshoots entire scenes.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. Execution might not be the greatest.
Ham-fisted.
In fact, it's
terrible execution.
In fact, I think Zemeckis might not understand what he's done.
I don't think he does in the slightest, dude.
But
he's super fucking offensive.
I don't think it's as bad as you think. I'd give it a 3-star.
No, it couldn't. It barely scratches a 2 for me.
I was entertained, I would say.
Oh, you were sports entertained, dude?
I was sports entertained watching this movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's not that good, but I was sports entertained. Do we want to break up the Steve Carell with some Universal Monster, or just jump right into more Steve Carell?
I think just do more Steve Carell.
Perfect. Beautiful Boy. So here's the thing about Beautiful Boy. This movie's fucking phenomenal.
Damn, this one did get snubbed, hey?
Yeah, this one got snubbed hard.
I know we mentioned it, that this one probably got snubbed, but we hadn't seen it yet. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it's super got snubbed. It's better than everything that was nominated. For sure. It's by a country mile.
Definitely better than Green Book.
Oh, way better than
Green Book.
Yeah, and Bo Rap, yeah. Well, everything's better than Bo Rap. fucking Venom's better than Bo Rap. No, that's not true, but it is bad.
Big them fighting words around here.
Yeah, those are fighting words. Sonic the Hedgehog will be better than Bo Rap.
Sonic the Hedgehog looks tight, though.
We'll talk about that later on Trailer Trash. So Beautiful Boy is a very dark drama. This is a movie that will absolutely fuck you up.
Oh yeah.
Because what this movie is about is Steve Carell and Timothy Chalamet. Who you remember when the Oscar nominations came out and people were like, why wasn't Chalamet nominated? And I was like, he's probably not that good. Hey, I'm out here now like, why the fuck wasn't Timothy Chalamet nominated, dude?
Why? Because it's an Amazon original, bro.
Dude, but he's so good.
Oh yeah, dude. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like from everyone involved.
Chalamet is incredible. And here's what I love is that you have the 4 main characters played by Steve Carell, Timothy Chalamet, Mara Tierney, and Amy, whatever her name is. But here's what I love about this movie. Amy Smart? No, that's not right. That's a different person. She was in Road Trip, which is a good movie. But what I love about this movie, besides Timothy Chalamet, all Office alum. The whole cast is Office alum. And guess what? Turns out if you're on The Office, you're best actor in the world now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, and Steve Carell is like astounding. And like the thing is I've seen Steve Carell go pretty hard before in things like Foxcatcher and Last Flag Flying. Like he goes pretty 10,000. I don't know if I've ever seen him act this vulnerably though. Like in a way where he shows everything on screen. Like every emotion is present on screen with Steve Carell's performance, and it is truly unbelievable. Guess what? This whole fucking thing got snubbed. I'm pissed off about this, to be honest.
Well, this movie is like such an accurate portrayal of addiction.
Yeah,
especially as someone who's dealt with that in my family life. Fuck, it's close, dude.
Yeah,
I'm almost a little sad that it ends on a happy note.
Yeah.
To be honest, because it usually doesn't.
Yeah, that's another thing that I thought. But this, but once again, much like Welcome to Marwen, Welcome to Marwen is how to fuck up a biopic.
Yeah.
This is how you do it. This is how you do a biopic. However, they're very different stories. So,
Yeah.
So
one was simply a hate crime.
Oh man. So, and what this movie really is about is that Steve Carell plays the father of a blossoming young man as he becomes an absolutely hopeless drug addict. And what's so good about this movie is Steve Carell's build-up. The build-up and the evolution of his character is insane. I haven't seen anything quite like it in a movie like this in quite some time, where he has he's so frustrated, like at first he's caring and he's just trying to get it dealt with and trying to figure it out, and he's even trying to hide it a little bit.
Yeah, and that'll happen after someone relapses a few times.
Yeah, and he's trying to hide it. And then the more the movie goes on, he becomes
Amy Ryan, by the way.
Amy Ryan, yes, thank you. Who is Office alum, dude. Good to see her and Carell back on the screen.
Absolutely.
Holly.
I was in the theater and I was like, there's nobody there, but then I saw the janitor come in and I'm like, Holly, where'd that Holly at?
She's in there. You have to wait an hour and 15, but she's
I did have to wait.
You have to wait an hour and 15, but she's in there. But yeah, and so Steve Carell's character goes from like that, the first thing, and then it's like somber and frustrated.
I watched this on Amazon Prime, so that was a story that didn't happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would imagine you watched this on Amazon Prime, the shittiest of the streaming services.
They have a lot of weird stuff though.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of like it. It just doesn't operate because like when you watch a TV show on Amazon Prime, it doesn't always like save where you're at.
Yeah, you just have to guess. Like I've had to get a third party app that tracks episodes just so I don't get screwed up on stuff.
Yeah. But then as the more the movie goes on, he sort of just starts giving up. Like he starts just giving up, and that is the most harrowing and uncomfortable part. This movie's 2 hours, by the way, and it flew by. I barely blinked. I watched this. I went to go home to nap, and I put this on just to nap between like movies at the Calgary Underground Film Festival this week. Not a lick of sleep.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Couldn't possibly sleep through this. It's too riveting. Like, and it's such a weird movie because it's like perfect. I would say it's perfectly paced too, because like there's really not a moment where you have time to like breathe in this movie. Yeah. And truly, like if you don't cry watching this movie, you fucking ain't.
Oh yeah, well they did the number one heartstring for me. Playing Willie Nelson's Heart of Gold. Dude, if you play Willie Nelson's Heart of Gold, I'm sorry, it's over for me.
Yeah, you could have Willie Nelson's Heart of Gold playing over two dudes raw dogging. Oh, we're gonna get sued for that.
It was only 1 second.
Yeah, I think we're fine. Under 16 bars, we're good.
But you guys know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. You could have two dudes raw dogging over that song, and it's like, well, you got me.
I turn into that "Why are you crying so damn loud" meme. Whenever Willie Nelson's Heart of Gold comes on, and it's as he's in recovery too, and he's like driving with the window open, dude.
Yeah, and
when you're driving with the window open, you're doing a dolphin.
He's doing a dolphin out the window.
I'm straight up just fucking crying so damn loud.
And you know what? That's actually not even where I cried. I cried like later in the film. During the car chase, like that's probably the part that like fucking hit me really hard. Just because like, and here's the real deal is that everybody knows somebody who's gone through this. Like maybe not everybody, but I know I have. I know you have. People who have gone through this and have acted this way, and it's so fucked up. Like it is so fucked up, and it's so difficult. And and Chalamet does such a great job of personifying drug addiction.
Well, it feels so real. I think my uncle would have really liked this movie if he saw it before he died.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But it really fucks you up. I don't think it matters who you are. It's who's gonna fuck you up hard.
Absolutely. Like it's gonna.
And it's a genuine relationship between Chalamet and Carell.
Yeah, and their chemistry is fucking phenomenal. And then even there's even great chemistry between like Chalamet and like Mara Tierney's character. Mm-hmm. Like just really, really, really great stuff between those two characters even. And that's so bizarre because it's his stepmom. And so you expect there not to be really a relationship there. But the movie makes sure this movie dots all its I's and crosses its T's. It's not necessarily the best looking movie I could think of, but that's really the only thing I can think about this movie to even say negatively
it's
about
not particularly interesting to look at, but this is a movie that's so story driven it doesn't matter that much.
I agree. And Chalamet rules, Carell rules, and it's just this movie climbs inside you for the entire duration of the 2 hours and just fucking rips you apart from the inside out. It's disgusting and awful and horrifying, but even uplifting at points and happy and enlightening.
It's pretty optimistic even for how dark it is.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of really great moments, and yeah, this is a true story. And the main character of the film, like I don't want to get like too far into it because I don't want to get into spoiler territory, because I do think this movie's on Amazon Prime. You should see it. I do think that, like, it even says that the characters, grew from this and continued forward, and like that's just such a hard thing to just move past. And so I really give props to pretty much everyone involved in the making of this movie. It's one of my favorites. I think it would have been on my top 10 had I seen it last year. I think I've had enough gushing about this movie. I think it's pretty clear that I'm gonna pop this guy on the coveted 5.
Buckle Duke says 4 stars.
4 stars. What lost the star?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's you didn't do anything to convince me to give it to it.
Oh, I feel like I was only saying things that were good about this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. No, I really like this movie though, and I think that people should watch it, especially if you've dealt with somebody with drug addiction. It is a very difficult watch, but I think it's very rewarding and very enlightening. Yeah, definitely check that one out. I want to talk about the Universal Monster movie.
Hell yeah, dude.
So today we're talking about The Mummy's Hand, and let me tell you, man, this one fucking blows, dude.
This one, it's almost like it's not even a monster movie. It's like it feels like it's a comedy.
Yeah,
it's for the first 55 minutes,
which is crazy because it's 60 minutes.
Yeah, and this is another one where it's like it's clearly very low budget, except for the tomb room, which is like, how did they spend that much money on that set?
Yeah, like that set, like I was thinking that even myself, like that set has to be almost the entire budget.
Absolutely. The tomb room is fucking like crazy dope.
It looks
My
great.
biggest problem with this one is they turned the mummy from a character to a prop, and that's how you make a bad monster movie.
I agree. Yeah, I completely agree with that. This one feels more like what like the Brendan Fraser movie might have been based on.
Yeah.
It's got a lot more parallels to that than it does.
Because it's got the high priest character who also doubles as like what is he in this movie, like a cop or something?
No, he's like
the
a
museum curator or something?
Maybe something like that.
I don't know. It's
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. He's a museum curator because he's trying to they're trying to sell him the artifact at the beginning of the movie that they find. This one's dumb for a few different reasons. Number one, the main character sucks, man. He's not. He's
the archaeologist.
Yeah, the archaeologist. He's a not character.
Yeah. Well, because the archaeology is not a character, but they give him an assistant. I think he's an assistant.
Yeah,
he's like this bumbling guy who's like trying to get drunk and like fuck women all the time.
And that guy's better, but also still not character.
But, like the only reason they have that character is because the other guy couldn't do the funny stuff.
Yeah.
And this is like somehow almost like a weird screwball comedy a little bit.
It almost feels like the Tom Cruise Jake Johnson relationship in the new one.
Yeah.
This one actually is also kind of closer to the new one as well.
Well, none of them are like the original Mummy.
Yeah.
Like, not even a little
Which
bit.
is unfortunate because the original Mummy fucking rules.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah,
but this one I like less.
Yeah, I like this one way. I actually really don't like this one at all.
I thought it was completely watchable. It's just like not. It just takes the Mummy and kind of shits on it as what it is as a monster.
Well, because it's not a sequel to the Mummy. You know, it's not a sequel. It has almost
it's a different Mummy.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the original film, The Mummy. So why even take that property and apply it to something else? Why not just make this a different movie? Make this
wait till you see Wolfman, dude. You're gonna be baffled by why they just made that one.
Yeah, perfect. I'm excited about that. Yeah, and I think that I do agree that there is some merits to this movie, like especially in like the last 10 minutes, which
as
again
you notice, we've moved on from the 30s classic Universal production logo to the new one where it has like the lights on that globe thing.
Yeah, I did notice that.
We've moved on to that production logo, and that's just an interesting place to move because we've now entered kind of the TV era versions of these until we get back into like the big ones, like I think Wolfman and Phantom of the Opera.
I think and House of Frankenstein. I think also.
I don't know. I don't know if those ones ever had theatrical release.
House of Frankenstein didn't have a theatrical?
I don't think so.
That seems very bizarre, but
they're more like TV team up movies.
Okay, yeah. The Avengers shit. Endgame, baby.
Yeah, we're entering the Endgame pretty soon.
Perfect. I can't wait for Ant-Man to go into Thanos' asshole.
Up into Thanos' asshole.
Yeah, hell yeah. But like the first like 45 minutes of this movie is about it's just kind of about nothing because like you have the two guys, the main archaeologist and his assistant, but then they're also just like they're trying to go on this expedition and they just bring a magician.
Oh right, there's a magician.
Yeah, they just bring a magician, and then the magician's daughter who like gets kidnapped by the mummy.
I watched this morning while I was eating breakfast. I'm like. And I saw the janitor coming through because I was at the theater. And I'm like, hey, is that a magician? What's he doing here?
And the janitor did affirm that it was, in fact, a magician.
Yeah, it was Podcast Mod.
It was Podcast Mod. But yeah, then there's just like a magician in it. And there's like this really stupid scene where a guy tries to do a card trick on the magician.
The card trick's amazing, dude.
Like... It doesn't work at all, and it's like, wait, because like what happens?
See, now you're talking about the stuff I do like.
What happens is he's trying to tell him the card, and then he just starts looking through the cards to try and find the card. Hey, if you didn't know a magic trick, don't start one because like the stakes were high too.
The guy stole the card. That was the punchline.
Oh yeah, because then he hits the top of the deck. Yes, very good.
Well, he takes it out of his pocket and slaps it on the deck.
Oh yeah,
you weren't even watching clearly.
Yeah, I was.
You're watching that 240p version.
Dude, I was half baked. It was 240p the version I watched.
Well, I got that 1080
yeah,
fucking Blu-ray.
You got the 1080 Blu-ray. Yeah.
I could see the 2 on the fucking card player.
Yeah, because I've been watching these all on archive.org, and like here's the thing: is that it's great that they're all on there, but the quality is sometimes questionable.
Well, yeah, that's why they did a fucking Blu-ray release of them.
And this one, like on archive.org, is actually like particularly bad looking, but you can still tell that room at the end is fucking great looking.
Yeah, you could tell that it was big, like impressive.
Yeah, and like
it was like old Hollywood impressive.
And then the actual mummy is on screen. And as soon as the actual mummy comes on screen,
hey guys, and it's the mummy's hand because he's got like a hand out. Like I don't even.
Yeah, I don't know what the title means to be honest.
He's like they keep zooming in on his hand, but like the hand's nondescript. It's like I don't know.
His one hand is no different from his other hand. But yeah, then like once you actually get the mummy in and he ties down the girl.
Yeah, they're trying to do a sacrifice.
Yeah, they're trying to sacrifice the girl to like Amun-Ra or something like that. And then also just like there's an amazing scene in this movie, and it is actually like my favorite part of this whole fucking movie. And it's like the scene where the high priest, who's like at this point revealed to be the bad guy, is like, "You can never strike me down," and then the dude just fucking unloads an entire pistol onto him, and he falls down 50 flights of stairs. And I'm like, at that point, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? Oh,
straight
man.
memeing, dude. This movie out here straight memeing.
Yeah, like that's a joke. Like that's clearly a joke someone wrote.
And this is like, I feel like we have crossed the threshold into kind of the weird shit now.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, since we aren't even that deep into the series yet.
Yeah, that's true. Like we're still like 4 months out of finishing these, but maybe 5.
We're still like 3 months out of seeing Creature. Because that was 50s, and we're like just getting into the 40s now.
Oh, fuck, dude. How many of these cocksuckers is there?
There's probably like 25 left.
Oh, my God. How many have we seen? I feel like we've been watching these for a fucking decade.
No, you're gonna get a lot worse.
Oh, perfect. I can't wait for it to get worse. Because like this movie isn't like the worst thing
no, it's
ever,
not that
but
bad.
It blows, certainly.
I think it's pretty watchable, to be quite honest. Buck LeDuc's giving it 3 stars.
3 stars. That's a little higher than I gave it. I gave it 2. I didn't hate watching it because of the really wacky stuff that's in it, but
it's pretty insane.
So much of it is just like this fake ass James Stewart type. Just like
I agree with that.
Just like saying nothing. Just say like he has absolutely nothing to say, but he's always talking, and that was pissing me off. The bad guy, I might as well not even be in this movie because they just pump him full of lead.
But that's what's good though.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. Yeah, I plopped this bad boy at a 2. We got one more. We got one more for you.
Do we?
Yeah, we got one more for you. We're going back to Netflix shit, apparently, because that's all we know how to talk about these days is just Netflix shit.
Why did you make me watch this? Wasn't there anything else that we could have watched? It's fine.
I wanted to watch it because it was the directorial debut of Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, whom we love.
Whom we love, you know.
But, like, let's be honest, not much of a director and not much of a debut.
But there's not much that... I really there's not much that could have warned me that he's not much of a director because he's never directed before, and I don't know if I agree with that. I think this is a fairly okay debut for a director. It's certainly better than Brie Larson's Unicorn Store. It's definitely
a better story.
It's a better.
I don't think it's particularly well directed. It's bland. It's extremely safe.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up too. For the setting of this movie, it is shockingly safe.
Look, he wasn't even set to star in this movie, and him starring in it is the only thing that saves it. He's no good behind the camera.
Well, he's very good in the movie.
Absolutely, he's fantastic in the movie.
He's very good in the movie, and I like the story. So let's talk about what this movie's actually about really quickly. So this movie takes place in an impoverished African village, and essentially what happens is that there's a big rain drought, and they can't grow their crops when there's a rain drought. So they unfortunately just kind of start going starving. Hey? Yeah, they start. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. We're gonna rewind there. I was like, and unfortunately they start starving because they just don't have any food. And like Chiwetel, like his character, who's like the father figure, like isn't even like won't even eat himself at all. And like there's even like a point where the kid tries to give some of the food to the dog, and he's like, if you give any fucking food to the dog, I'm going to break your neck. Like, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, I wish there's more piles of dead dogs in this, quite honestly.
Yeah, which yeah, this is a fucking High Life shit. There's piles of dead dogs.
Dude, let me just reiterate this quickly. High Life has piles of dead dogs in it.
Here's the thing. It didn't need to be there.
No, it didn't.
But as essentially they start going starving, the young man who, like, the son to Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, who's, by the way, his name is Triwell, which is a great handle.
Hell yeah.
Like, the dad's name is Triwell, the kid's name is William. William starts to look into creating more sustainable systems that create, like, how do I word this? He wants to create electricity to build like sort of like a rain system or like a watering system from well water.
Yeah. Well, it's a pump. Basically.
Yeah. Water
pump. runs on wind.
Yeah, which is like such a cool thing that somebody who really doesn't have much information and nobody.
Well, and that's like the whole Beast storyline is him getting kicked out of school.
Yeah,
because they can't pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's still like sneaking into school to like go into the library and look at these books all about like creating energy and like. And like there is one thing that I don't really like about this movie though, and that is because like the whole process of him creating the windmill is that's the shit I really like about this movie. But there is one part of the creation of the windmill that just seemed pretty convenient, and that is the fact that he just gets a dynamo, and they don't really explain how it works. He just gets it, so he doesn't actually have to do any of the legwork on that front. And the only legwork he has to do really is to get this fucking thing up, right? And get like the pumps working. So he doesn't really actually create anything. He actually just takes a bunch of shit that already exists and just redistributes it.
Well, isn't that what actually happened? Because it's based on a true story.
Yeah, I guess it must have been. Yeah. And this guy ended up getting like a shitload of scholarships. Went to Dartmouth.
That's pretty good. But also, this movie's like 2 hours.
Yeah, it is too.
I don't know if we've got that much content.
Now, here's the thing: is that what I've just described is the main plot of the movie, and unfortunately, it's the last 45 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
The first hour and 15 is all setup. And that is really boring because the first hour and 15 doesn't have very much to say.
Not that it's not well acted.
No, it's
like
great,
there's actually a couple good scenes, like when they're doing like the democracy stuff.
Oh yeah, with the NUP.
Yeah.
And then they beat the shit out of the chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That content's pretty good. but I don't know if it sustains like how long this movie really is.
Yeah, because like the first hour and 15 is more like anti-government stuff, and they're like, the government's not listening to us, and nobody is doing anything about it.
Well, that's the point,
Yeah.
I guess, but also
Because yeah, that somebody has to stand up and do something about it, and that's the character of William. And even like, and there's so much skepticism in this movie too, almost to a point where it's kind of fucking annoying, that because we as the audience know that William is right, and that this is how you sustain a fucking farm when there's a drought. And even like Chiwetel Ejiofor's character is like so obnoxious about how little he gives a shit about this. So much so that he's
belligerent.
Yeah, he's belligerent. So much so that there's a scene where Chiwetel walks into the street and challenges 6 children to a fist fight.
Hell yeah. No, that's that shit I do. Like, that's some Uwe Ball postal shooting kids stuff. Piles of dead kids.
Yeah, he's like, you want to fight me? Fight me. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Let them fight.
Yeah, let them fight. I was really hoping they might fight him, to be honest.
Yeah.
And like I was kind of hoping it would be like a fucking Kingsman style Harry beating the shit out of Catholics type fight.
Hell yeah, dude. No more Catholics left.
No more Catholics left. That's a Trainspotting 2 reference, dude. That's a good ass dude.
Yeah, and
good
it's also a way of life.
Yeah, that's true. Hail Satan. Yeah, and so this movie, it really is. I think it's a well-conceived idea,
Sure.
and you can tell that Chiwetel was very passionate about this project.
Absolutely, you can see that through for sure.
And I think if Chiwetel is able to put that same passion that he has for directing stories like this into maybe balancing a screenplay.
My question is, does he want to be the director person, or does he just want to be an actor? Like, I don't think all these people have to be directors.
I don't think so either. I think maybe what happened here is that this is just a story that he's particularly passionate about, and he wanted his fingers on it.
Sure.
He wanted his stamp on it. He wanted to, because he starred, wrote, and directed this thing.
Clearly, he wanted to make it.
Yeah.
He wasn't originally going to act in it. He really, like, because he wrote it and directed it, that it was going to be his baby. Mm-hmm. And then he ended up acting in it also, because if you're that close to it, I guess you should.
Yeah, absolutely. As well, like he's just.
But I just think he's so much better in front of the camera, and I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know how much practice he's already an older gentleman. Like, how many more movies is he going to direct, realistically?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And he's in that Lion King shit, so he's just gonna get a bunch of money.
And he's so fucking good at acting.
Yeah.
Like, I just like, it feels like a waste of his time to become a director now, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm glad that he got this one in though.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not taking that away from him.
No.
That's great that he found his passion. I just don't, like, I think after one try, he needs to evaluate if he's going to actually do that, and he's going to have to find a style somewhere. He's going to have to find something.
Yeah,
that's
and like
different than this.
I don't think this movie is necessarily that. I don't necessarily think it's boring. I just think
it's not boring. It's safe.
Yeah, I just don't think that there's a lot of really I don't think there's a lot of riveting content in the first hour and 15.
Sure.
Last 45 minutes, great. That's what the whole movie should have been. Was what happens in the last 45 minutes. Also, there's something about his sister fucking a teacher, and that doesn't really go anywhere other than they just get the dynamo.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. His sister's just fucking the teacher, and there's so much interaction between those two characters, like the teacher and his sister.
I just got a Google alert that says new trailer out for Detective Pikachu.
What the fuck? Are you dead serious?
Yeah.
During the pod?
Yeah. I got a Google alert, dude.
What the fuck? That movie comes out next week.
It's TV spot. It's the UK TV spot.
Okay, yeah, we're definitely gonna be watching that once this podcast is over. Yeah, but I do think that the latter half of the movie is so interesting that I wish it was the whole thing.
Yeah,
I agree. Because like the government stuff, it's like, okay, it's interesting, sort of. Also, they slip in some 9/11 stuff in this movie for some reason.
9/11.
But it's like it's not even for a purpose. They're just they're trying to fix the radio, and they finally get the radio working. And the first thing that comes on is like, the second plane struck the tower at 9:03, and they immediately
get some 9/11 imagery.
They immediately change the channel. It's like, why have that? You said at the beginning of the movie it was 2001. I believed you. You know.
Gotta make sure they know. Gotta make sure that
you
people
don't
know.
have to remind me.
Yeah, because that's when everything changed.
Yeah,
that's when we got off the rails.
Yeah, and I agree that shockingly, especially for the setting of this movie, it is safe. It is a weirdly safe movie, and everything that you think is going to happen, especially with the family dynamic, is exactly what happens. And then also, there's a part where they get mugged, and I have no fucking idea what that was about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't even join Kung Fu or anything.
I know they didn't even start karate with Alessandro Navolo. It's just such a. It is a good.
Mind you,
I struggle with it.
It isn't that. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, I struggle with it because I do think it's a good movie. It's just really disjointed.
Yeah, and it doesn't have anything that really stands out to me. Like even now thinking about it, like I remember him building the windmill, and that's about it. I don't really that and the scene where they're beating the shit out of the chief are the only two things that I really remember from the movie.
Well, and that's because that's the stuff that you're supposed to remember.
Right.
But because I think like a movie like this, like a biopic that takes place in an impoverished Africa, I really don't know if you could make this 90. I feel like there's just too much that you have to interject into a movie like this.
I guess so.
And
for the background of really the situation that's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Because they really have to set up what's happening before they can bring you to the actual narrative.
Sure.
But that's just kind of annoying. But once you get there, it's great, and I really, really like the rest of the movie. So I'm going to give this one 3 stars on the Chetsky scale.
Buck says 3 stars.
3 stars. Buck gives it a 3-star treatment. Want to do some trailer trash?
Absolutely.
Holy fucking shit, dude. I am buffaloed. I'm without words for the trailer that we received this week that was given to us, a gift.
Yeah, it was a gift.
For the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So first thing that I want to make very clear to our listeners, and look, if you don't know this already, you probably suspect it. Sonic the Hedgehog is being made by a first-time director. This is someone who's never directed a full-length motion picture before. That makes sense. So I don't know what you feel about this movie, but I think it looks like fucking dog shit.
I think it's going to be
very bad.
Very, very bad. Like to the point where maybe it'll be bad in places we don't understand yet.
Yeah, like it looks like it's ready to break new records of shittiness.
Because like we've already seen the character models, and the human teeth, and how he kind of looks like a lumpy 15-year-old in a onesie, and I'm baffled.
Yeah,
and beyond words.
yeah. So first of all, the Sonic the Hedgehog actual character.
The character model is so far off base that like I would guess that the character designers had never seen a picture of Sonic the Hedgehog. It was just described to them.
They read the Wikipedia, but they didn't look at the picture.
Yeah, the picture didn't load or something.
Yeah. It came. It was a broken image.
Because to me, like, Sonic's not that hard. Like, you give him real big eyes.
Yeah.
Give him a fucking nose, like a cartoon nose, and give him real skinny legs.
Yeah.
They went to the exact opposite direction and all of that. Gave him a human mouth.
Yeah, human mouth. But what's even weirder about
Give him a fox mouth, idiot.
Is they gave him a super weird long torso and short legs.
That's the wrong direction. Give him a little torso and super cartoonishly long legs.
What a waste of Ben Schwartz, dude. What a
Benny
fucking
Schwartz.
Benny
Rest in
Schwartz.
peace, dude.
Yeah, his career's over now. That sucks because I like Ben Schwartz, but there's no way he's moving past this.
Well, at least Jim Carrey's career is going down with him.
Yeah, true. Remember Miles Teller? No, probably not, because he did Fantastic Four and has not been allowed to work since.
God, thank God Michael Basketball Jordan got out of there.
Yeah, thank God.
I was so sad.
Thank God Creed was already in the can.
Thank God Creed was in the can because he would never have worked again. And we even talked about this during our when we reviewed it.
Because who else was in that movie? Those people aren't working anymore.
I don't even remember who played besides, like, was it Kate Mara or something like that?
Yeah, and she doesn't work. She
doesn't work. I don't even remember what the other character was.
The Thing?
The Thing.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what he was.
Yeah. But whoever he is, I'm sure he's not working.
No, isn't he playing, isn't that the guy that's playing Tolkien in that documentary?
No, because isn't Tolkien being played by Nicholas Hoult?
Yeah, wasn't that him?
No, it certainly wasn't Nicholas
See,
Hoult.
that's why I don't even remember who was in that
Nicholas
movie.
Hoult is.
I'm sure it was a
is
British.
Beast.
I'm sure it was a British guy though.
It was, yeah, it definitely was. Nicholas Hoult is Beast in X-Men, which is similar but different.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've just talked about the character model. There's just every moment of this can be described as just terrible. So
Sonic the meme hog, dude. That's all this shit is gonna be.
this movie's it's already being memed out of like into fucking oblivion. But like the movie starts. First of all, Gangster's Paradise. I'm never really mad at it, but it's just.
Have you seen somebody recut it with Batista's theme music from the WWE, and it's like real badass?
No, I kind of want to now, but. The thing about this movie is that it starts with James Marsden, who plays a cop who's Sonic's best friend for some reason. Yeah. Here's the thing. There's a wealth of characters. But we're going to just take the two characters and then have James Marsden cop. You can't. What? Okay.
Why are we putting it into the real world even?
That's also confusing because Sonic exists in a fantasy world.
He's got his own world.
Yeah, he's got his own shit going on. Green Hill Zone, you fucking not Montana. What the fuck?
That's the most baffling part to me is that they decided they needed to put it into the real world when it absolutely does not need to be there.
Because here's the thing: is that when I play Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm like, this is great, but I would love for this
road
to
chip.
Yeah,
is this road chip?
This is a really great game, but I think this would be better if it took place in fucking Wisconsin.
Yeah, it'd be better if this was road chip.
And so James Marsden plays cop, and Cop for some reason just adopts Sonic for some reason.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand.
It's like Paddington when they just get the bear. I don't think so.
Yeah, this is also like the Transformers plot line too, where it's like
everybody's sucking Paddington's dick, but they just take the bear. I don't think so.
Isn't that also what Stuart Little is about? I think those might be the same
Dude,
movie.
they just take the talking mouse with clothes. I don't think so.
God, I love Stuart Little. Oh man,
Stuart Little 2 road chip.
Stuart Little 2, the one where he skateboards. I've been really into just sending pictures of the Stuart Little 2 DVD box art to people lately. Mm-hmm. Just out of nowhere.
Stuart Little 3 Chipwrecked.
Yeah, God, I forgot about Chipwrecked.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody forgets about Chipwrecked.
True. Went to see that in theaters, and good buddy Lauxie got a hand job while we watched it.
Wow,
what
a blessed soul.
There was no kids present. It was a late show on like a Wednesday.
You also got a blowjob in the steeple.
Okay, we gotta focus because I gotta get through this Sonic the Hedgehog shit. Yeah. But like,
don't worry, we're only 7 minutes and 41 seconds into Sonic the Hedgehog,
and we haven't mentioned anything.
Way longer than the Mummy's Hand review.
Now, at the very least, they like in this movie, it does like confirm that Sonic the Hedgehog actually has quills, like a hedgehog would. Uh-huh. But it also confirms that Jim Carrey is in the movie, which we already knew. But man, god damn, dude, it's bad. God, it's really bad. So Jim Carrey comes out. He doesn't look like a Robotnik. He just has a mustache and sunglasses.
Yeah, the scene where he's holding the vial. There's a really great meme where it's like, I'm going to convince them that vaccines are poison.
That is funny. And so then, like, Jim Carrey, Dr. Robotnik, for some reason, they're like...
Yeah, Dr. Eggman.
The craziest part about this movie about this trailer is that they're like, we got to get somebody who can neutralize such a thing. And they're like, you don't know. You're not talking about who I think you're talking about. But here's the question I have. Why were they talking about this person? He's clearly an insane man. Why were they talking about this person?
This trailer is so baffling. There's no way I can't watch the movie. That's the problem.
yeah.
Because I need to know what this is about. Because right at this moment, it's fucking nonsense, dude.
It's very buffaloing, dude. It's very confusing. It's like, here's the thing: is that I don't think ever on the show for Trailer Trash have I ever been so confused about a trailer in my life. What is this thing? Why? Because, like, when they said they were making a Sonic
go
movie,
fast.
yeah, when they said they were making a Sonic movie, I was already like, okay, what are we doing here?
Well,
guys?
their first mistake was firing Evan Susser and Ben Robichaux.
They're still credited though.
Yeah,
It's still credited.
They only wrote throughout the first draft though.
Yeah.
It's completely different at this point.
Yeah,
'cause
they did.
They had a lot of Big the Cat content, and this doesn't seem like there's going to be any Big the Cat. In it.
Yeah, I know it doesn't. It doesn't seem like it's gonna have anything in it, but it's gonna have a bunch of Transformers bad guys, and,
Cartoon bad guys?
Yeah, cartoon villains with in fucking military outfits, and for some reason, Jim Carrey's wearing a cape and he's got a twirly mustache.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh man, it's just you're right. I thought this was coming out in October though. I was kind of sad to see it's coming out in November because I simply cannot wait that long to see whatever the fuck this thing is. I just
Oh boy, I'm excited for it to take over marketing materials for Detective Pikachu though, because that's very funny.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's very true. Oh man, I saw a fucking phenomenal meme today, and it was like, that scene from The Simpsons where he's holding up the instructions to the barbecue, and then he pulls down the thing, and the barbecue is all broken because he doesn't know how to put it together. It's like the instructions is Detective Pikachu. He puts it down at Sonic the Hedgehog. Hell yeah, dude. And then here's the thing: is that they do show like Robotnik doing like stuff that I think he would do. Like with all the different robots and like the missiles and shit. Like that's pretty characteristic. But then you also have Jim Carrey saying shit. And by the way, he's not playing Dr. Robotnik. I need to make that very clear. He's playing fucking The Mask or Lloyd Christmas or whatever the fuck. It's just Jim Carrey doing a Jim Carrey bit. As far as I'm concerned, Ace Ventura is fighting Sonic the Hedgehog in this trailer because he's and especially the first scene with him, which I can't believe we haven't talked about, is just so opposite of comedy. It's insane. Like the scene where he keeps interrupting the general. That is so much not funny, even a little bit. Like it's so crazy how unfunny that scene is. And the scene, like James Marsden when he like finds Sonic and Sonic is like meow, and I'm like, fucking Christ, who wrote this piece of shit? It's so unfunny.
I'll tell you who didn't write it. Our friends.
Evan Susser and Ben Robichaux. Yeah. God bless him. God bless him. Follow him
Get
on
him
Twitter.
on the pod once we review this one.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get him on the pod
They will definitely not be allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, because I think they're still getting paid a little bit.
Yeah, they are.
It's just I've never been so buffaloed by because like it feels like whoever did write the screenplay or whoever did direct this movie, I haven't really gone into it too much. I just know it's a first-time director, but whoever did write the screenplay has simply never interacted with a person in any way.
Or a video game.
Or a video, yeah, definitely not a video game. It hasn't played Sonic. They don't know what it's all about.
This looks like some high-budget Uwe Ball shit.
Yeah, it looks like you gave Uwe Ball way too much money.
Are we going to talk for the 15th minute on this shit, or are we going to end the episode?
I think we simply must end this. Sonic the Hedgehog is going to be a masterpiece, or maybe the worst movie ever made, or maybe the best. I'm not sure. It's really hard to tell. Hey, Podcast Bot 8000, I'm really tired. I want to go to bed. Can you fucking just tell them what we're talking about next week? Oh, hello, boys.
Hey, Podcast Bot.
I heard that you guys were talking about video game adaptations.
Sure.
Speaking of which, on the next episode of Movie Epidemic Podcast, the boys will be talking about Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
What was that word?
Pokemon.
Pocket monsters? Okay.
Detective Pikachu. They'll also be visiting their good buddy Clint.
Oh, hell yeah. One last ride?
One last ride. That's the mule. And then Chadley will be really pleased to see his girlfriend, Beyonce, in Beyonce Homecoming.
You're really going to make me watch that, hey?
Yeah, I absolutely am going to make you watch that. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, buddy. Buckle up.
Yeah, it's her full performance.
Yeah, but you're going to make me watch the Clint movie.
That's not even bad. Cooper's in it. He's going to be acting his ass off.
Cooper's also in Am Sniper, which is also a Clint movie player.
Yeah, acting his ass off with that fake baby.
And they'll be watching The Invisible Woman. Yeah, getting that equality in there. Hell
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you, Podcast Bot 8000.
That's what we strive for.
Buck, I'm going to rip your pants at the seam while you wear them. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Podcast Bot 8000.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, so if you want to follow us on the socials, you can hit us up on Twitter at Movie Epidemic, Instagram at Movie Epidemic, Facebook at Punch Nerds Movie Epidemic, or Facebook.com/Movie Epidemic, or you can follow us individually. I'm at Chadley the Movie. Buck is at Last Cool Dude
Don't do
on
that.
Twitter. No, do it. It's funny to me. So please, and thank you for giving us all those 1-star reviews. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, we love it. We love seeing our ratio go down.
We also love when you give a 1-star review and then don't write anything, you fucking coward.
Yeah, at least write something.
Write something, you
and
coward.
leave your name so I can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. I do wish to figure out where you are.
You guys remember from very, very back in the day when one of the bits was that I had mob connections. That bit's coming back if I see any 1-star reviews.
It's also not a bit.
It's also not a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very scary man, and I would be afraid of him. I am afraid of him.